Ruckus. Thanks for joining. Please like, subscribe, and share. 10-8. Hey, how's everybody doing? Let me get this chat here set up. Yeah, that's good enough like that. Christina's here. Hi Christina, how are you? I don't know if you guys know who Christina is. I'm sure that Larry will go over it. He's got some people that he'd like to thank for everything that they've done this far. Let me see. I think we can do it like that. Will work just fine. So let me see who's in here real quick, Larry.
Take your time.
We've got Jill Mosier. How are you, ma'am? Southern Gal, True Crime. I'm glad you guys could all make it. I've been trying to do this for about a week now, but it's been one thing after another. Poor Larry, I keep telling him, all right, we're going to do it this day, and then I got to let him know I can't do it, and I'm a pain in the ass. Olivia, how are you? Rescue all the dogs. Hopefully you can catch this later. Um, and of course, Christina, she's on her phone, so until she gets back to her computer, she won't be able to do too much, she said. We've got Jari, Tammy Lawrence. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come see this show tonight. It's important to me. I got to meet Larry. Me and Larry hit it off right away, and we've got a lot more work to do. But Larry, while I'm doing this, while I'm going through, anybody else, I'm going to put your comment up there, but I won't, audibly say hello. So I want to get started with Larry. Now, Larry, you were married to Stephanie Hughes, right? Back in the early 80s?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, and you two had a child named Amber. And then
Amber Nicole, yeah.
yeah, and then you two separated. And you actually went to, was it Kentucky?
Yes.
And she was living with her boyfriend, James. He goes by Britt, I guess, but James Monroe was her
Yes.
boyfriend. And
Yes, he
then I,
was.
and then if you take us to now, James called police on December 26th, saying that he had gone to the store with Amber in his pickup truck, and he ran inside and he came back out, and she'd gone missing. Um,
Yes.
so that's what everybody initially they were looking for. They actually found some footprints nearby at an old closed up store, but they soon figured out it was too hard for her to open the truck door by herself. So
Yes.
so if you take it from there, Larry, just from that time frame, so everybody can get a grasp on what you were going through and what happened. So you were actually in Connecticut working at the time, correct?
I was in Kentucky.
Kentucky working at the time.
Yeah, I
And
was with my grandparents.
okay, and what happened? How did you get notified that she was missing?
I got met at my grandparents' house by the FBI, and they informed me. They asked me where Amber was, and I told them in Texas. And they told me no, she isn't. And I said, well, yes, she is. And they said, no, she isn't. I said, explain, no, she isn't. And said, somebody's took her. She's not in Texas. So I went in and I called Texas, and they told me that Amber had disappeared, that she'd went to the store with James, and that someone had stole her out of the truck. And I said bullshit right off the bat. And so I fly to Texas, and I get out there. I found out that he went to McDonald's grocery over off Dowdy Ferry Road, and I went in to get some groceries or some knickknacks or whatever. And he come back out the store, and when he looked, there wasn't no child in the truck. He went back in the store, told the clerk that his child had been his daughter had been stolen out of the truck, and there was a pest control guy, a clerk, and a stock boy in this little big corner store, and they instantly called bullshit. Well, while he was in the store, he told the clerk, one of the clerks, that he had to get his daughter a Dr. Pepper or she'd be mad. Well, Amber didn't drink Dr. Pepper, she drank Coke. So there's one mistake. And instantly, them two guys called bullshit. There's another mistake. And then there was a guy coming into the store to get a pack of cigarettes that morning. And he was 20 feet from the truck and said he didn't see no child in that truck when he pulled in. So there's another mistake. So I
Yeah,
get
and
there
these
and they
weren't the
explain
days
this
of
to
car
me.
seats either, was it?
Excuse me?
These weren't the days of car seats either. It's not like, she was
No,
sitting in a
no,
car
no. You
seat.
could stand in the front of the truck if you was a kid in them days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the story I got. And then they, this has been on for so long, Ruckus, that then I get back over there and I meet Bill Deer, and Bill Deer explains it to me. And we hunt for Amber for, I had stayed out there, I think it was 10 days and hunted for her. And come to find out she was murdered, and just straight up murdered. I mean, there's proof of it. Just don't find her body. Without her body, she's just another little kid that they throw away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I do
but
know.
that's the
Now,
way that goes.
it was cold.
Minus
The-
40.
Yeah, so there's no way that she get out of that truck and went too far. So that whole story
Well,
sucked.
why would you take a 2-year-old child out in 40 below zero wind chill factor to the store with you in the morning at that time of the morning?
Right.
And the
Now, what
story
was
was that he had
Stephanie?
taken her. The story was he had taken her earlier for a walk with his dog. Well, he never took Amber for a walk ever. And why would you take a kid walking when you're going to get frostbit within just a few minutes?
Right.
So,
And what was Stephanie
and
Stephanie
Stephanie
allegedly doing at this time when he went to the store?
sleeping. She said she was sleeping, and that when she went to bed that night, she said that she felt Amber wasn't alive. But when she got up the next morning, she went and got her coffee, looked out the back window, seen James in the backyard. He come in, sat down beside her on the couch, and calmly sat down beside her and told her Amber had been stolen. Well, now who calmly sits down beside a baby's mama and tells them that their child got stolen while they were out in his truck?
Yeah, the
I
whole
mean, who
thing
calmly
smells like
does that?
shit. Nobody. No normal
Yeah,
person.
it's what happened. What happened was he OD'd her with methamphetamine, is the way I believe it. Put her in her bed, and Stephanie seen her dead. She went to bed thinking whatever she was thinking because she's strung and flung like a research monkey. And got up the next morning, and Amber was gone. Her bedclothes was worse, and she got stolen at a store day after Christmas. Come on, you can't even write a book with that kind of shit in it.
No, you can't. You can't.
And then for 40 years, I hunt and hunt and hunt and hunt and hunt and go through people. I've had kids call me, tell me they're Amber. And everybody knew the story all along. Even her mother-in-law, even my mother-in-law knew what happened.
Hmm.
You know?
Now, her family, Stephanie's family, they have money, right?
Oh, they got lots of money.
So that's probably why people were
And
saying
his
they
family
they were
has,
your daughter. I mean, they were thinking they were
yeah,
going to
and
get
his
some money
family
off
has
her.
money too. So I'm fighting two families with money.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm
exactly.
just a working guy.
Well, so all this time went by. Well, actually, it wasn't that much time. He got arrested, right? Britt got arrested.
Yeah, for one day.
Yeah, and then they tried to indict him, but the grand jury
Yeah,
wouldn't indict him because Stephanie changed her
she
story.
said, yeah, she said she was coerced to say that. Now, who makes up a story like that, even if they're coerced? You know what I
Especially your
mean?
mother.
Yeah, who would make this story up like that? That she felt she was dead when she went to bed. I
Yeah,
mean, where would you just pull that out of thin air at?
yeah. No mother that I know would do
No,
anything like
no,
that. All right,
no.
so
And
you've been dealing with this shit, Larry, for over 40 years, and you've had people reach out saying that they were your daughter and all that bullshit, all them wackos. But then
yep,
finally, amen, you had a couple people that came into your life, Mr. Steve,
yep,
Chris, and Christina, and Caroline. It's,
Carolyn.
yeah.
Yeah,
Explain to
the
everybody
Texas
what
team.
those fix did for you.
They're the Texas team.
Yeah,
We went
they
to
are.
Texas. We went to Texas in May to do some to look for Amber's body. And Christina and Carolyn are sisters. Well, Carolyn, she's a genius. She's got all these degrees. She knows all this science. And Steve's a retired police officer, and he runs True Crime Web. So he, I seen him. I read a story on it, and he says if anybody's got anything that they think I can help with, and I sent him to Amber's story, and he picked it up, and from then on, it's rolled like a snowball. I think we've got the police back involved in it, and I got some interview with CBS coming up, so that's why I got to go back to Texas. I just got back from Texas.
Absolutely. Now, you and I had planned to go out there together, but it, again, my fault, just didn't work out. But what was your purpose of going there, Larry? What did you go to accomplish when you went to Texas?
I I went to talk to the guy that we suspect helped get rid of Amber's body.
Britt.
I went to talk to Jimmy Lee Markham.
Okay. And
That
what
was
happened?
Brett's best friend.
And what
I
happened when
got
you
mad at
went there?
I knocked on his front door, and come to find out, his two sons live at the house I was at, and that he lived at another house. They wouldn't give me the phone number to him to get a hold of him to say, "Hey, let's talk. Let me know, talk to me about this." And I told him that he'd probably be better off talking to me and letting me know where my daughter's body was than talking to the police or whoever else gets sent to his door. And he never did get a hold of me. So obviously he's not content. He's supposed to be a preacher.
Yeah.
Amazing world we live in.
You know, Larry, at this point, you pretty much know what happened to your daughter. You just want to find
Oh
out
yeah,
where
I
your
know.
baby's at.
Yeah, I want to give her a decent funeral. You don't
Exactly.
just throw a baby away and stick her in the ground and forget about her. That's where they
No.
messed up. They thought I would forget about it, and I'll not forget about it till the day they bury me. Like I was telling a buddy the other day, physically, I can do this for another 10 years. Mentally, I'm not so sure how long I can do this. So,
Well, you're
got to
and
end
you're a
sooner or
strong
later.
man, Larry. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Uh, you have a
it,
lot of character.
yeah, but strong man, this will break down anybody. I'm telling you,
Oh,
anybody.
absolutely. Well, so your trip, at first it seemed that it wasn't very fruitful, right?
Yeah,
But that,
it was very fruitful at the end.
right, and this is the
It,
news that I've been wanting to tell everybody, and I've been holding out so that you could tell them. But you got a phone call from Fort Worth, Texas, right? Is that what it
yes, I
was?
did.
And you answered that
Yes,
phone, and who was it?
CBS. They're wanting
CBS
to do
News.
a documentary on Amber, so we're going to do a documentary with CBS.
And you also got
I
to
got
speak
to.
with one of the detectives as well, right?
I I finally found Amber's file. I
Okay.
found her evidence. I found her file. She's in a child exploitation unit, and I couldn't figure out why she would be in the child exploitation unit because that's usually crimes, sexual crimes against children or child trafficking.
Yeah, it's usually
And
trafficking,
I
huh?
got proof that where Amber had been abused. So it looks like she would be in Child Protective Services, you know. So that's why they couldn't find her file. She was not in Child Protective Services. She was in Child Exploitation Unit.
Right. So the CBS News, they want to do a few part series on this case, correct?
Yes, is the way I understand it.
Yeah, they want to interview you and but I was really
Bill.
when you told me about that detective that his parents actually lived in the neighborhood where Amber went missing, and when he asked
Yes, they
them
used to do
about it,
that.
what did they tell him when he asked his parents about that case?
That the girl was murdered. That's what they told him.
And
You
what's his
know,
plan now? What's he planning on doing?
it's he can't do nothing because he's with Child Protective Services, and I have to go through the sergeant with child exploitation, and she thinks she wants to look into the case again. So
Right,
Sergeant Alvarado with child exploitation is going to take it up the line and see if she can look into the case again
right
because
on.
there's too many inconsistencies that don't fit. You
So
know,
they're
they got a confession
yet they
of what really
absolutely have a
happened.
confession, but she changed her damn story. Um,
Yeah, but they still have the confession, so they need. If you apply pressure long enough, something's going to give. You know what
right.
I mean? So,
So
like I
we're on the
told them,
verge of
I
getting
went out
this
there.
case reopened.
Yeah, because I went out there, like I tell them, I went out there and I shook the cages. I rattled their cages by knocking on their doors on Christmas Eve morning. But I needed someone to be behind me to shake that cage about a week later, see what fell out from where I shook it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I need the police's help, and it don't seem like they want to help.
Well, once you get
I
this
don't know.
news story out, I can't see them not. And there, it appears that there's
Well,
at least two detectives that are interested in this.
yeah, that and then CBS is interested, but I talked to the lady and she's having problems finding people to interview because the people are dead. Most of
Yeah,
the people are dead. You know, and she asked if she should interview Stephanie, and I told her I think it'd be remiss if she didn't go ask her if she wanted interviewed.
right,
You know, whether
right.
she wants to or not, at least she knows that hey, this is getting ready to come towards me. It might make her think a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly,
That's what
exactly.
I mean by applying pressure. You got to let them know that this ain't done yet.
No, it's not. No, it's not done. Especially once you get interviewed by the local news station there.
Yeah, and if you go up there in your CBS and she's got nothing to talk about, it's your daughter. You
Mm.
know what I mean? And like I'm the only one that's hunted for her in 40 years. Me and Bill Deere are the
Now,
only
have you?
ones tried to find out what the hell really happened here.
Now, Bill Deere,
And
he
then I
got
met
some good
Steve.
information.
Then I met Steve, and Steve got interested in it. Now, that's probably one of the best moves I made in the last 40 years was meeting Steve. Because then
Steve's,
he introduced me to Carolyn. Then he introduced me to Christina. He introduced me to Chris out in Utah. So,
you got some good
you know,
people
and
on
then
your
I
side.
introduced, yeah, and then there's Drew. I introduced him to Drew. You know what I mean? Drew's my buddy in Iowa whose daughter and niece got killed on a bike ride.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of
So,
people know that you and Drew are really close.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I like Drew. Drew likes me. We get along. We've been through something that most people don't comprehend. I mean, I
No,
never figured I'd be the guy to wake up in the morning and see my daughter on a milk carton. You know,
yeah, yeah. I can't. I couldn't even imagine, Larry.
and you get up every morning and you think about it. It's not like it's a, well, we'll think about it today and tomorrow it'll be gone. No, it's there every day, every year, and it don't never go away.
No, and
It's
it'll
it's
never
like
go away.
it's like living in a nightmare that never ends.
Yeah,
You know, you go to bed. I talk to her driving down the road sometimes. I talk to her here at the house. You know,
yeah. I know, dude.
Uh, Dad ain't gave up. I'm not gonna give up.
Absolutely not.
You know,
Absolutely
I
not.
it's just not gonna happen because I can't see throwing a little girl away like a piece of trash. I just don't see it.
Well, that
And
whole.
I've not always been the nicest guy in the world, but I've had a set of morals and a set of values that I have to live by, and I've lived by 'em,
Hmm.
you
Well,
know.
I've met you.
And
You're the
if this
genuine
don't end right,
article.
I'm gonna have to. If this don't end right, I'm gonna have to break both my morals and my values,
I don't think
you
anybody
know.
would blame you.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have to do it. The police should have done this 40 years ago.
Well, I think that we're on the right track now. That once we get you, you got to go. When are you going back to Texas? When do they want to talk to you?
I'm leaving my house the 24th, and I have to meet them the 26th, and I think we're going to do the interview somewhere in the neighborhood
Okay.
where it happened.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah.
All right. And you're going to
So
drive
they
out
want
there?
to. Yeah, me and my buddy. I'm taking a friend. I got a couple things I got to do while I'm out there.
Okay.
So I'm taking a buddy of mine with me. You
Well,
know,
dude, I wish you the best of luck, and I know that Steve and Chris and Caroline and Christine, they're all pulling for you as well. And Drew, I
well,
know Drew's watching tonight. I talked to him yesterday. He's watching,
I'm
so
a.
he's
I'm not giving up on Jimmy Lee Markham quite yet because I'm
no.
going to take his wife. I guess is a like a deacon or a minister or whatever they are. I'm not a very religious guy at a biker church. So I'm going to take one of my buddies with me. That way I can go in this biker church and feel about half safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And see
absolutely.
if I can meet this lady. I guess you'd call it backup.
Well, it sounds like they need backup, not you. I've met you.
No, no, I can't. I can't go in a church and that biker rule number one. There's never violence at a biker church. Now that
Right?
don't mean it can't happen in the street outside the biker church, but it can't happen
Okay.
in the church. And if
Okay.
I go in and get to asking about one of the preachers, it might make them a little ill.
Well,
So
hopefully
I
it'll.
figured I better take one of my friends with me.
Yeah. Well, you.
Cause I went out there no backup over Christmas, and the cop couldn't even believe. She said, "You were knocking on doors at Christmas," and I'm like, "Yep." She's like, "Are you crazy?" I'm like, "Nope. I got an agenda I got to take care of. I'm not getting no younger."
Right.
And this guy, if I die, then it dies, and I got to solve it before I die.
Well, Christina
So
just said either Detective Puente or Sergeant Alvardero,
Alvar, Alvarado, Alvarado,
Alvarado, or CBS should
yeah.
get answers. If not, she's got more ideas. You're not alone, Larry. We'll find her.
Oh, I know. She's my sounding board,
She's fantastic.
Christina. Yeah, we talk all the time, text all the time.
Yeah, she's
I try
fantastic.
to, because I ask her, how should I dress for this? Because I'm a country guy, blue jeans, t-shirt, and what she call it, business casual, Larry. Your cowboy boots, a nice pair of jeans, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm not one to change myself much,
yeah. You're not
you
much of a
know.
shirt and tie guy, are you?
No, 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 no. I'm more of a t-shirt. Yeah, I'm more of a t-shirt type guy, blue jeans.
Well,
But
there's
if
no.
it's what I got to do, it's what I got to do. I'll put on a suit if I have to.
Yeah,
You
Roger
know.
that.
Yeah.
Roger that.
But yeah, this next trip is probably gonna be pretty interesting because I'm gonna stop in at the exploited children section of the Dallas Police Department.
Yeah, you gonna take a look at what they got there, their files.
Yeah, if they'll let me. If not, they're probably gonna arrest me for disorderly conduct.
Well,
But sometimes you just got to dive in with both feet.
well, 40
You
years is long enough, Larry. They've had enough time to think about how to handle this.
Yeah, yeah, I know. We gave them plenty of time, but there's got to be. There was so many police officers there that day from so many different police agencies. There's got to be more of a file than the one with the Dallas City Police.
Correct.
There's got to be a file by the Texas Rangers, which I mean, they're separate from the Texas Department of Public Safety. People think Texas Rangers are the state police. No, the Texas Rangers are like the Georgia Bureau of Investigations or the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. They're just Texas Bureau of Investigations, but they're Texas Rangers. Then the state police are public safety. They're the public safety officers. That's what their vehicles say. So
Right.
they were there. Then you had the sheriff's department there because they had their horses out looking for Amber. So you've got all these different, and the FBI, you got to put the FBI in there. And then you got Bill Deere, the private, and the only two people out of all them that's got files is the city police department and Bill Deere. Come on,
Yeah, no, that's a bunch of
everybody.
bullshit.
So shouldn't every one of them agencies have a file from where their officers were there?
Yeah, absolutely. There's got to be
I mean,
something in there. Yeah, they had.
yeah, you'd think at least their opinion of what happened.
Right. Well, they all have to write a synopsis of their participation. They have to do that. Now, the FBI contacted you first. You'd think they'd have the biggest file because they
You'd
get
think so.
involved. Yeah, they get involved right away with missing children and exploited children.
And
But
see,
we,
the FBI sent me in a house here, what, 10 years ago, with Stephanie's best friend lived, because she's the one that even said that Stephanie told her that Amber Eyes were open, not moving. Her lips was blue, and she didn't think she was breathing, and she was cold.
yeah,
So went in there and got her to even say it on tape to the FBI, and nothing ever come of it. They said there wasn't enough evidence. Goddamn, how much evidence do you need? They just admitted to doing it.
right. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Now
You know?
you usually don't work through the winter, correct?
No, no.
Yeah, but your job, you're outside most of the time, and
Yeah.
but because of this, I mean, you finally got some movement on this, and I'm here to tell you that Steve and Christina, they really and Chris, they got shit rolling, man. I mean, it's
Oh,
amazing
yeah.
that it took 40 years to get people to know what they're doing and get this shit rolling again. But
Well,
I
I think
want
the
to
biggest,
see you get out there, and I want to see you not having it. If you got to take on odd jobs this winter just to afford a trip out to find out what happened to your daughter, I think that's bullshit. To be
well,
honest with you.
sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
No, well, that's why I wanted to do this live and speak with you, and maybe we could help out. But
Yeah.
this is
Uh,
going to get the case opened up again, dude. I'm all for it.
well, what really I think helped us was when we found the bones up under the house last in May when we were out there and we had to call the police in. I
Hmm.
think what really helped us was they had never heard of this. None of them officers had never heard of Amber Crum, not a one. And
Hmm.
then they pull this team in that's looking for this little girl, and now it's got them wondering why does this guy got this whole team out here looking for this little girl? You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think that helped. And then with Officer Acevedo from Child Protective Services, he got interested in it because it happened in his neighborhood. You
Yeah.
know, so I think that's what helped was Steve and all of us out there when they pulled Steve and Christina and Carolyn and Chris in. And the crazy thing was they pulled them in and questioned them and didn't take me in and question me. And I know more about what's going on than 90% of the police force.
Hmm.
It didn't make no sense.
But it
But I think
tells you
that's what
something
got them.
though that they wanted to speak to them. That tells you something. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, and it tells me something that when I can finally call out there and someone says, "Hey, let me look into this," and then when CBS is they like I asked him the other day if what I could say and what I couldn't say on these interviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Sergeant Acevedo said, Larry, it's been 40 years. Say what you need to say. And I'm like, well, I'm probably going to run some of you guys in the ground. And she's like, say what you got to say. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm getting ready to probably run some Dallas police officers in the ground.
Well, I mean,
But
if they deserve it, they deserve it, Larry. I mean, come on, it's not rocket scientry. This guy lied and said that she was kidnapped out of his truck. That's very evident, and that was evident right away. So much so that they
yeah,
arrested him.
they arrested him on what Stephanie said. But then she recanted it and said that she was coerced into saying it. I heard
Hmm.
the tape. She wasn't coerced into saying nothing.
Hmm.
I've got the tape on my phone, and
You
I've
know,
listened to it
Caroline saying
over
that
and over.
Christina had to give the police the records because they didn't have them at the police department. They didn't even have them when they went in to speak with them. So
Yeah, we
that
had to give them We had to get the records from my private investigator to give to the police department.
mm. And he is
I
a
mean, that's
world
sad.
renowned investigator, and he's very expensive. And what did he charge
Yeah,
you to
he's
help you?
$1.
See, there are good people in this world. They're out there.
Well, he was Stephanie's father's investigator, and when he died, that left him no obligation to the Hughes family. So he asked me if I wanted to hire him, and I told him I couldn't afford to hire him. He said, "You got $1?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I got $1." He said, "Mail me $1 and a written piece of paper saying I'm allowed to look into this and have it notarized, and I'm your private investigator."
Yeah,
So
that's
I done
awesome.
that. He's getting interviewed the 22nd
Okay,
by
good.
CBS,
Good.
and I'm
I
trying to
hope
get him to
they
get Mr.
interview
Steve in
everybody.
there. Well, I'm trying to get the whole team in there because I can't explain what Carolyn does. Carolyn can explain what Carolyn does. I can't
Right.
explain what process Steve uses. And so Steve can explain what's going on. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if having Christina there, she's just moral support. She keeps me under control.
Keeps you in check.
Yeah, keeps me under control.
That
Like I
whole
think we talked.
Texas team, I would love to see that whole Texas team get interviewed.
They
Um,
need to be interviewed. They need
yeah,
to be. They know. They seen what I went through under that house. They seen what. And Carolyn was under the house with me. You know what I mean? And we got in some spots we got 7, 8 inches to crawl through to get to another spot, and we went through them
and got
under sewer
electrocuted a few
pods.
times.
Yeah, I got electrocuted a couple times. That'll knock your head off real quick. When you got it about 3 inches above your head and you get electrocuted, you tend to hit your head a couple times.
Yeah, yeah, that'll
I had
happen.
I had knots on my forehead for a week,
Yeah,
but I was
dude.
bound to the and
When you guys
just
found that
imagine.
area with the loam and the lime and the charcoal and all that, and found bones in there, I thought that was it. That crawl space was. I
Oh,
thought that was it.
well, that's a weird question. Is why under a house would you have enough charcoal to cook out for 2 or 3 years and lime in the same area?
Hmm.
This, and I'm a farm boy, so I know that charcoal keeps the odor down. I know that because of dead livestock, and I know we covered them in lime, for they deteriorate quicker.
Right.
So that right there said, what the hell is lime and charcoal doing down here? And then we started finding bones, and I thought, my first thought's, please not let me find my daughter's skull up under here because I will freak out.
Oh man.
So, you know,
But
but
I mean,
yeah,
that's what you were there for.
imagine crawling under a house in Texas that's got every deadly snake in the world living in it. every deadly spider, scorpions. Imagine it. And they said, I crawled under it. You couldn't have kept me out from under there.
Now
First
Caroline
time I
says you
went in,
guys
I
found hair too under there.
found what? Hair? Yeah, we found
Yeah.
hair.
Hmm. Yeah, I wonder what
My big
happened with that.
question.
I know Steve got the bone tested. Now that's the
Well, I
nice thing
think,
about having people like that on your team. You know, Steve has a foundation just for people like you to help people like you. So he has the ability to have these things tested, to put together teams like he did.
yeah.
Because what these two girls do is amazing. I've watched their
Oh,
videos.
yeah.
I've tried to understand. I know a little bit about ground penetrating radar and all that, but what they do is amazing.
Well,
Amazing.
and this thing with CBS, if it hadn't been for Christina, it would have never happened. But when I went to Texas, she sent PDRs or whatever they're called to all of the news stations in the area to see if someone wanted to pick it up as a interest story for Christmas.
Hmm.
And CBS looked at the tape and said, "Yeah, we want to do an interview on this." So that's how that all come about, was Christina sending tapes to all the news stations in Texas telling them I was going to be there at Christmas looking for my daughter.
That's amazing.
So that, yeah, so that's how we work as a team. We all come up with different ideals, and if they work, they work, and if they don't, we're no farther back behind the eight ball than we were to begin with.
And you know,
You
after
know, we
40 years, Larry, you didn't even know these folks a year ago. And now
no,
look how many people
no,
you got on your side now.
I done it by myself for 40 years. I beat the bricks, beat the doors, make people mad. But now, since I've got to looking, I think her family's trying to make me the bad guy, and I'm the good guy. I'm the guy trying to find my daughter. I'm not the guy trying to hide my daughter.
Well, you'd think they'd want to know what happened to their granddaughter and their niece, you know.
Well, I went to her sister's house Christmas while I was out there, and I knocked on the door and told me she didn't have time to talk to me. We're talking about her niece here. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's what I'm dealing with. When the family don't even want to talk about what happened, and they haven't never looked for Amber.
Hmm.
I'm the one who looked for Amber
Yeah,
because
exactly. You've never
they
stopped.
knew that Stephanie's story was true. That what she told was no lie. It was the truth. They knew that. So why look for something that they know there's dead? Why invest? They're the type. Why invest money in something that's not going to pay off?
Right.
You know.
Well,
So
you know, for aesthetics, you know, so people think that they're doing something when they're not. You know, law
I
enforcement
think
has put this aside and have just tried to forget about it. And you haven't let them. And here recently, you're really starting to ruffle some feathers. So,
that's what I've been trying to do.
yeah, but fortunately, there's new blood in there, in the law enforcement in
Yeah.
that area that want to take a look at it. And
Well, they hear it and they understand that that something's not right here. You know, because
mm,
you can't bury a body when it's 40 below zero. I went out and tried to take the water meter cover off at my house. It's might be 9 below now or something, wind chill, and I couldn't hardly beat the ground with a hammer. So imagine a week at 20 to 40 below zero, coldest winter in Texas.
mm.
You're not going to bury a body. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, dude, you're
So you
preaching to
got
the
to stop
choir. It's 64 here right now, and I'm dying. I'm freezing to death.
it. I think our wind chill is supposed to get 10 to 25 below tonight.
Dude, I start
So
bitching when it gets below 70.
I start bitching when I can't go play golf.
Yeah, well, you need to come on down here, brother. We can play year round.
I could, me and Florida don't get along real well. I don't like the smell.
The smell.
I smell it. Yeah, the swamp smell. I don't like it.
Oh, okay, I'm
This,
out in the country. It don't smell like that. I'm on the
I'm
Gulf
at.
side.
Yeah, where you at down there?
Homosassa.
I know where that's at. Homosassa Springs.
Yes, sir. That's
Yeah, you
exactly
guys
where
used
I
to
live.
have a. You guys used to have a manatee show all the time.
They still do.
Do
They
they
still
really?
do. Yeah, they've
See, I know
regulated
where.
it. but they still do. They have a manatee park and all that.
But I'm going out there the 26th, and I'm going to meet with Sergeant Alvarado. I'm going to try to meet Detective Ferrente, and I'm going to talk to CBS and see what they come up with, and go from there.
Well, you
I
might
mean,
might
if they pick,
Steve might
and
take the ride with you. You might be able to talk him into it if he's not busy.
I think he's going to be out there.
Oh, that would be
He's
great.
supposed to. He's supposed to. Him and Christina, or him and Caroline, are supposed to meet me out there. Because I guess Caroline's going to be doing something with Steve out there. I don't.
Beautiful.
I don't get into the science part of it. I guess I'm the guy that shakes the bushes, and everybody else does the science.
You're there for aesthetic value. You're just the good looking
Yeah.
one on the team.
Yeah. Right. No, that would be the two girls.
Yeah, well, they're both beautiful and brilliant.
And
I'll
brilliant.
I'll say Steve's
And
brilliant, but he's not beautiful. He's ugly as a mud fence.
Steve. That's what I like about him.
Well,
I brought
Steve
him out
risked
here
his
to my
life
house.
during that trip to Texas. Didn't Chris almost run him down?
Yeah. Saved by the ditch. And they don't drive this. They don't drive the same in Utah as they do in Texas. Utah, they just drive through the ditch.
You know, poor Steve. He
That
picks
was,
the worst people to team up with. When he goes with me, I get him involved with all kinds of shenanigans.
yeah, yeah. The ride, that was a good time, and the ride in Iowa for Drew, that was a good time.
Yeah, dude, I
You
had
know,
a, I had a
them are
great
good.
time.
Them are good people out there. Oh, you should have come to the house. We set up all night in the backyard, fire and talk.
Yeah,
You know, that's
well,
all we do.
I don't think I would have lasted too long. You guys, you
Oh,
guys, you guys were
we
going
sipped
hard
a
at
couple,
it.
we sipped a couple jars of moonshine, had a few shots. Other than that, just another night in Iowa.
Well, I'm pretty sure we were on the road. We left straight from there. Went back to the hotel, packed up, and we headed back towards Delphi. So,
I
but I'll
left
be
and
out
headed
there
straight
next
back
year.
here. Oh, I'll be out there every year. I guess
Yeah,
Christina's worried about the lights on Angel Island on Amber's tree. I told her we could lights and ornaments. I told her we could probably afford more lights and ornaments.
yeah. Well,
You know, but
things are
yeah,
picking up.
that's what kind of girls they are. Over Christmas, they went to Iowa and put lights and ornaments on Amber's tree for me. You
That's
know,
awesome.
it's like what? Because they know I don't do Christmas. I haven't celebrated Christmas in 40 years. I just sort of go through the motions. You know what I mean?
Who can blame you?
Yeah. I'm not
Who
much
can
on
blame you
Christmas
for that?
trees. I used to drink a lot of bourbon on Christmas. Now I've even slowed up on that.
Well, see, now that I can do with you. Me and you were right there with
Yeah.
that. Yeah, we could do that together. That's no problem
But,
whatsoever.
I, I don't think I do too bad. I try not to get out of hand too much when it comes to that little girl. I used to. Man, when I was younger, every Christmas it drive me nuts.
Oh, I
But
can imagine.
I'd sort of learned to deal with it,
Yeah.
in my own little way. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I'm going
Absolutely.
out there and see what happens again. I mean, it
Well,
can't hurt.
that interview and those two law enforcement officials that are new blood to this are interested in it. If we can get this thing opened back up, listen, you'll be happy as a clam just to find out where your little girl's at
Oh yeah, I'd be happy just
and
if they
bring her
go
home.
start asking people. Go ask people questions. I don't think James has been questioned since the day he walked out of the jail, and his last words to the newspaper was "Justice has been served." How in the hell has justice been served? And we got a tape saying that you killed a little girl, but you just walked out of jail and justice is served.
Yeah.
That's not justice.
Yeah, he's an
That's not
asshole.
justice. He'll understand justice one of these days. Trust me.
Yes, he will.
I guarantee. Yeah, he's gonna get. Yeah, I don't think he wants to deal with me face to face.
I wouldn't imagine
It's
that he would turn out too well if he did. if he attempted to.
Well, I'm pretty mellow. I'll be 65 years old here shortly. I'm pretty mellow, but that's one man that I just can't. I can't control myself around.
Yeah,
I'll just, yeah. So I just try to avoid it. Now, the bad thing was at Christmas, I was 1 hour and 33 minutes from his house, from his
yeah.
front door. And you don't know how many times I thought about getting in the car and driving that 1 hour and 33 minutes. And
That's a
I'm
lot
good
of
at getting up in the
willpower.
middle of the night. Yeah, well, I've come to find out if he done it, I'd rather watch the state of Texas put him to death, then it won't ruin my life, than me have to do it and it ruined my life.
Mm.
So, you know,
Well,
I'd much
hopefully
rather do it.
things are rolling in the right direction now, Larry. I'll
Well, we
do
just have to
anything
see.
for you. Now that I'm healed
And,
up, I can get loose again.
people don't realize to investigate one of these things, it's, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of money, a lot of time, but I'm not going to quit. You know what I mean? I'm just not going to quit.
No, you can't.
And I don't care. I don't care how much money it takes. And I don't care how much time it takes. So you know, if I have to, I'll find a way. I always have.
Well, I'll do
So
everything in my power to help you. That's for sure. You've got a
well,
friend in me, Larry.
well, I need friends.
Yeah,
I
I still
need
have two
friends
friends
that
I
are
haven't
going.
even used yet.
Yeah, me
So,
too. And me too. That's the bad thing about it. I got friends they don't want me, but
say no
I
more.
try to.
Say no
I try to
more.
keep myself. I try to keep myself from that. You know.
See, I'm the worst one for that, dude. I'd be right on your side. I'm retired now. I don't give a shit. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I don't have to follow any stupid rules anymore. You know.
Well, Texas rules are different anyhow. Texas laws are so out there. If you got a confession, arrest them.
Mm.
You know, don't come up with the excuse, well, we can't find the body. You've got someone confessing that the body was dead. So I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'll never get it. The first time you told me that,
Because if it happened in Indiana and she'd have confessed, he'd have done been up in the penitentiary.
sure. Hopefully, I
You
don't know,
know,
dude. Indiana's pretty fucked up too.
they just uh, yeah, but yeah, look at the Delphi thing going on right now.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, there's
they
other
they,
things
they got
going
me.
on there as well that
Yeah,
just getting swept under the rug. I'm waiting for some traction on Drew's case too.
yeah,
Um, you know,
me
they
too.
there's something happening there, and we need to get to. I need to get my fat ass back out there too. I need to go see Drew anyway. But I'm definitely not going during this cold streak though. Hell of
Yeah, well,
that.
that's like Steve with my buddy Kerry Owsley. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? The case he's helped working with up here with in my hometown about Kerry Owsley.
Yeah,
Steve's a good guy. He knows what he's doing.
Steve is
You know,
very intelligent,
yeah, he knows
and
what
he's
he's
very
doing. He knows how to
analytic.
run. He knows how to run the operation.
Hmm.
Because if it wasn't for Steve went up under that house, we done everything just like the police would do it. We never touched it. We photographed it. We measured it. We
Hmm.
bagged it all sterile. So it was done just like a police department would do it.
Yep.
And see if it had just been me, wouldn't have thought about all that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's why I tried to explain to CBS. We've got two different things here. We've got the old school investigation that's been done. Now we've got the new school investigation that's going on. So you need to talk to everybody that's on this team because they know their jobs and what they do.
Absolutely. I agree
You know?
100%. And that other case, I had the pleasure to work with Steve on that one as well and got to meet the family on that one. And she's a sweetheart as well. And
Yeah.
that one, that's a travesty as well. That one needs to be fixed.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, we know what happened on that one.
Yeah, that's a
And that,
bunch of
that
bullshit. Yeah, but it seems
yeah, I
that,
knew it.
if we know what happens, doesn't matter. Law enforcement doesn't really see things through the same lens that we do, I guess. But
Well, the county that we're talking about is being in right now, which I can't mention because we don't get along anyhow, and they'd be up my ass. Uh, if you want to get away with murder, that's the county you do it in this state. Let's just put it that way.
hmm. Well, we drove by that house, and I don't get any of it. You know, but thank
Yeah,
God that Steve's on it, because he
yeah,
does not give up.
yeah. That's why. Well, that's maybe why we get along because we both get our teeth into something and we won't let go.
Hmm.
And I can't let go because it's my little girl. I got no choice other than to do what I've been doing. I mean, if I didn't, I'd be remiss, and I couldn't live with myself. You know,
No,
I just,
I agree, dude. I agree one
I
hundred percent. I
couldn't,
couldn't imagine.
I couldn't do it. It just wouldn't be proper. You know,
Yeah.
because she's 2 years old. She's done nothing wrong to nobody.
No, how could
She didn't
she?
even know what doing wrong was. And if you hear this recording I got, no wonder Steve didn't want me to listen to that file because it makes me mad every time and I listen to it every day to see if I missed something somewhere, and I don't
Hmm.
think I've missed nothing nowhere.
Right.
You know, about how he abused her, and she was abused before she died.
Yeah. Well, that was well known. I mean, right out the chute. They were saying she
Yeah,
had signs of abuse and stuff like that. That
she,
alone
yeah,
is enough to piss you off as a father. Never mind all this other
yeah.
stuff.
But then there's the traumatic side. That, well, an example. To get her to quit peeing her pants, he stuck her in a bathtub full of just straight hot water.
Yeah, what a fucking asshole.
And then when that didn't work, he decided he'd try cold water. So he took her out of the hot water, filled the bathtub full of ice cold water, and made her sit in it.
And what did Stephanie
So
do during all this time?
I guess I have no idea, but she didn't play mom. I do know that
No, not at
because
all.
no mom would ever let. But and then I guess he would beat her ass, as they would say, and stand her in a corner, and she would stand there for 2 and 3 hours at a time facing the corner.
Yeah, that beautiful little
Who
baby
does that
being
to
treated like
who
that.
does that to a 2 year old child?
Mm.
You know
Nobody.
what I mean?
Not a human being, anyways.
Yeah, and you know, we and
Well,
I don't get it. I don't see how you can even hurt a child.
well,
I just don't see it.
we'll get some justice. We've
Oh
talked
yeah,
about
I know.
several different avenues, Larry, and whichever one works, I'm with you. I'm with
I
you.
told you
Whichever
what was
one
going to
works.
work and how it was going to end a long time ago.
Yeah. Well.
I still think that's the way it's going to work and how it's going to end.
Hey, I've had a
You
good
know,
run. I'm 60. I've had a good run.
I'm 65 and ain't getting no younger. But my doctor says I'm healthy, so we'll just see what happens.
Yeah. I don't have a doctor anymore. I have a undertaker. Yeah. But all right, Larry, I just wanted
Well,
you to be the one to tell everybody what's going on with this the CBS News. Do you know if it's just going to be local or is it going to be nationwide? Do you know that?
it's going to be nationwide.
Okay, beautiful,
It's going to be
beautiful.
like one of the documentary series you see, like True Crime.
Yeah.
It's the way I
Well,
understand it. Told me a doc. I said, well, when's this going to be on the news? And she said, this isn't the news. This is a documentary series. And I'm like, cool. That's what we've been wanting.
it's
So,
amazing.
yeah,
That's
she's going to be part
amazing.
of a documentary series. So
Not
we'll just
much
have
makes
to
me
see.
happy, but
But
stuff
she
like
said
that
she don't
does.
have enough people to interview. She's having trouble finding people to interview.
Well, like I
And
said, she
I've
needs
told
to
her,
interview that Texas team, and I'm sure they
yes,
have some names of people for them. I know Steve
yes.
probably has a list a mile long of people he'd love to talk to.
Oh, yeah. like I told him, I got a Bobby Johansson. You need to find his kids and talk to him because he called me right before he died and said that he had proof that that Stephanie and James killed Amber, but he wouldn't tell me the proof. So if he had proof, then his kids had heard what he's had to say, so they might know where it's at.
Yeah.
And Bobby come home from Vietnam. He was sneaky. He might have recorded a conversation they didn't even know he was recording.
Right. Well, dude, I'm pulling for you. I'm hoping we get something rolling here pretty quick.
Well, as long as we keep trying, and like I said, after you apply so much pressure, people will start to crack. But I can't apply it by myself. I
No.
need I need to rattle the cage, and then I need someone to come in behind me and shake the cage and see what falls out.
Right on,
You
brother.
know, and that's why I wish I could get the police involved. Who in
All
the
right,
hell
Larry.
is?
I'm gonna
I got someone driving across my field.
You
Oh, it's
field?
my neighbor. My
Okay.
neighbor.
He's
Yeah,
got balls, huh?
yeah. He lives next door.
Good way to get
He,
shot, isn't it?
yeah, out here it is. Yeah, I live way out in the middle of nowhere too.
All
We've
right,
been
Larry.
watching
If
the
you
Eagles.
if you get any updates or any other news, please let me know, and we'll come on again because people ask me all the time about you and Drew to see how you guys are doing. And
Well, we're doing what we can. We're trying to live our life with a lot of shit on our minds.
hmm, yeah,
It never
well,
goes away, you
absolutely,
know. But
absolutely.
I'm trying to get an investigative reporter interested in this too. He done Texas Killing Fields, a series, and he done wrote one article on Amber a few years back called "Memories of Midnight," and I'm trying to get him involved to see if we can get an investigative reporter to start knocking on their doors too.
Now, what's his name? Who
So
is he?
Skip Hollingsworth,
Skip Hollingsworth. Okay.
yeah, he's the one of the editors at Texas Monthly Magazine.
Well, maybe if we can get people to start writing in Skip and emailing Skip, maybe maybe he'll take an interest in
Well,
it.
well, he's already interested, but he just I don't know. I don't know how that works. But yeah, he wrote one article on her about her death. So we'll just have to see what happens. Bill Deer's supposed to talk to him because they were supposed to be buddies.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, I hope it
We'll
works
see
out,
what.
brother. Keep me
And I figure
posted.
I'll see Bill while I'm out there. So we'll see what's up.
Yeah, they'll talk to Bill too, right?
Yeah, he's going
Yeah.
on the 22nd.
Okay.
They're going to
Okay.
interview him the 22nd, me the 26th. And I told him the other day that Steve's going to be out there. They might as well just have us both there and interview us.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to call her this week and see about getting the Texas team because I guess Caroline's going to be there the way I understand it. So
Right.
I might as well try to get the Texas team there. That way
Yeah, dude,
she
that
can
would be
ask
great.
anything she wants and they can tell her because it's a two-sided case. You got the old school, and then you got the new scientific method that we're trying to use. So they
Yeah.
need to talk to everybody.
Well, you got the right people behind you. I'm here to tell you that's an excellent group.
Well, we'll
So
see what happens.
if anybody
I
can get
mean, I
something done, it'll be them.
yeah, you know, then yeah, they'll use their heads. They're 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 doing some scientific stuff I've never heard of, which I can't talk about right now because it's something that we're just trying out to see what we can do. But
Hmm.
we've got something in the works.
Well, trust me, with that
And
group you got, I know they
I
got
did
something.
ask the lady at CBS asked if there was anything that we needed, and I told her we could probably really use a cadaver dog because there's a place behind the house that just don't make sense to none of us. Because the
Mm,
water, when it runs off the yard, it don't run off around this hole. It runs down through this hole, and it's a hole, and it don't hold water. So there's got to be a void in it somewhere down there.
it goes somewhere.
It goes somewhere, and we want to know where, but we don't want to dig until we get a cadaver dog or a forensic team or something
Hmm.
like that there in case we do find something that's not supposed to be there.
Well, he
Because we
hasn't
want to
said
make it to
anything to
where,
me, but I'm sure Steve's got something up his sleeve.
oh, I'm sure he does too. But we want to try to keep it to where if we do happen to find her body, that when it comes to court, there's nothing that we done wrong to mess the case up.
That's why you need Steve with
So
you. Yeah.
that's why we need Steve.
Yep.
Steve
Exactly.
knows how to do it. He's an ex what CSI, all that stuff.
Hmm.
Went through all that schooling to what crime scene investigator.
Oh, he's done everything.
So
He's worn every hat that you can wear
yeah,
in law enforcement. Yeah,
yeah. So
and
I
he did
want a
it all
crime scene
well.
investigator there to know that we didn't touch nothing and we didn't move nothing and everything's photographed and logged and tagged and that way when it goes to court they can't say this wasn't this, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But you have to look
So
at things, from a different angles as well, though. Steve might be intelligent. He figured out that crawl space might be a good place to look, but there ain't no way his fat ass was going to fit under there. So, see, that's why
no,
he
no.
needed you.
Yeah, well, I can fit under it, and Christy and Carolyn fit under it. So, and like I said, crawling under a house in Texas, it could be deadly because they got rattlesnakes and all that shit. But I went under it first, made sure there wasn't nothing under there. Like I told them, there's nothing under here that I'm scared of. So I went under it, and then they went under. But there wasn't no need nobody else to go under there because it was dirty and nasty, and
Mm.
yeah, it was pretty rough.
And you had to
But
go
I'd do it
all the
again.
clear to the other end of the house, from what I understand.
Yeah, we went from side to side and from end to end, and we covered every inch of ground under that house.
Mm.
And I covered it 6 inches 6 inches above the ground because that's about all I had between me and the ground, and about I don't know 6 to 8 inches above us.
Mm.
So it was pretty tight.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
after you've been in there 2 or 3 days, it's just like no big deal,
Yeah. And
Go
and
under,
that's your
do what I
baby.
had to
You
do.
going under there was no keeping you out from under that house, I bet.
You couldn't have kept me out from under that house with a battle
Mm-mm.
tank.
No.
I've been wanting to go under that house for years.
Yeah. And
Now
when
I
I
got
when
a
I heard
place I
you
need
guys
to.
got zapped by uh bare wires, I thought that was funny as hell.
Yeah, sat me right on the gluteus maximus. But
Did you yell?
had me. Yeah, yep, yeah, yeah, yep. And then we found the bone, and so I can't move till we. And I finally got above it, and we found the bone right there. And I thought, damn! So we had to measure it, photograph it, log it, and I'm stuck over top of an electric wire, thinking, shit, I'm gonna get knocked the hell out of again before this is over with. It got me a couple times.
I would have
I
thought I
even
got bit
told
by a snake or something. I'd have jumped off my. I would have went up through the floor, probably my fat ass.
that ask Carolyn next time you see her about the bug. She'll know
Okay,
what you're talking about.
okay.
Cause I get her in Texas. Everybody knows cockroaches are all over Texas. So we're under this house, and I'm shining the light, and the ceiling above me, which are the floor joists, are moving with me. And I shine the light up, and there had to be a million cockroaches. Well, I didn't want to say nothing because I didn't want her to freak out. So I said, "You scared of bugs?" And she said, "No." I said, "You sure?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm not scared of bugs." And I shined the light up on and she's seen all these cockroaches run for corners and run and hide. And she's like, "You didn't have to do that." And I'm like, "Well, I had one, didn't want them to fall on you down here while you're
Right.
under here and it fall down and you freak out. You raise up, bang, you beat your brains out trying to get out of there." And then if you was on the back side of the plumbing, you had a little 6 inch space that you had to sort of snake your way through. So yeah, I've seen some stuff up under there.
Well, you searched it thoroughly. That's for sure.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did, and we found some stuff under there that shouldn't have been there. And now we've got to check the duck pond, and I got a couple other places I need to check. So, and then there's a place out in the country that I need to check. I just got to remember how to get to it because the
Well,
story is that spring, him and Jimmy left in a pickup truck with two motorcycles, and they were happy when they left. And when they come back, James was in the bedroom crying, and Jimmy Markham wouldn't even talk to the family, and he always talked to the family. He went in, said hi, walked out the door, and left. And even my ex mother in law said she could tell that something wasn't right. And James said he was crying because he'd lost Amber. No, he was crying because he just went and buried Amber. So,
what an asshole.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
straight
we're
up
getting
asshole.
there. We're getting there. I can feel it, Larry.
Well, we'll see what happens. Christina said it was going to be a good year, so we'll just have to see what happens.
Amen, brother.
You know,
I'm,
I don't get my
I'm
hopes up
hoping.
too high because then it gets out of hand.
Right.
So, because
Yeah.
then I
Well.
get my heart broke again. What heart I got?
Well, you just had a
Because of
woman
this.
saying she was Amber a couple of months ago.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
whack
from
job.
St. Louis or somewhere.
Yeah.
Got a hold of one of my great aunts and said she thought she was my daughter. So my great aunt got a hold of me, and then we got a hold of her. And I called Steve, and Steve had someone go talk to her, and come to find out that she's just another nutcase.
Yeah.
You
Unbelievable.
know,
Well, we
hell,
don't have to worry
I
about
had
that
one
shit no
call
more.
when I was married. I had one call me on my anniversary while I was out of town. Woke me up on my anniversary day. First thing I heard is, "Are you Larry Crum?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She said, "I'm your daughter Amber," and I'm like, "Yeah, right." you know, I said, "Well, it's pretty simple. You just go take a blood test or a DNA test at your sheriff's department, and we'll know in a couple days." And then we ended up having the court order her to take a DNA test,
Nice.
because you got to
Well, we've
prove
got
that they're not.
hopefully Steve and I have been working on a case out in California that we can use the girls' specialties for. So um,
Well, that's
we'll see.
good.
We'll see how that one
I'm
goes
glad.
as well. It's the same kind of
I'm
thing.
glad we got. I'm glad we got people like that.
Yeah,
I'm glad we
absolutely.
got. Because now everything's science.
Dude, there's people out there that have lost all hope, and they don't have anything
Oh,
until you find somebody like Steve and the girls and Chris, and there's people with a heart of gold, and they're just willing to help, and they have the expertise to do such.
yeah.
It's amazing, and it makes me feel good that I was able to meet these folks, and through them I got to meet people like you. So I mean, it makes it
Well, it's like
worthwhile.
with this CBS thing. Christina sent that to all the news stations, and I've called CNN, Nancy Grace, Tom, what's his name, John Walsh. I called Oprah. I called NBC, ABC, Fox. I called every news. Sent them letters. Nobody took no interest in it. Just another missing little girl.
Mm, yeah, they don't
So
give a
now I
shit.
got
Yeah.
CBS interested. So we'll just have to see what happens with that.
Well, we just need to get you there. That's all we
Yeah, we'll
need
get
to
there.
do is get you there. All right,
Yeah.
my brother. Well, keep me posted. I'm sure I'll be in touch with you before you go. And
Oh yeah, I'll get in touch with you.
and if I
I'm
can
probably
swing it, dude, I'll come out there with you if I can swing it. It's kind of short notice, but I would love to just go hang with you.
well. Come and hang with me.
Yeah,
It's going to be an exciting time. I can see that already. You
yeah,
know,
yep.
well, anytime Steve and I get together with the girls, we get to looking for things, and we each got our own little ideals. Like, let's see, we come up with one. How about billboards? And we put one right outside where they got to get on the highway and look at the little girl every day. That's applying pressure. Pressure finally cracks stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of our ideals. And we've got a few.
Yep.
Don't know if they'll work, but
Yep.
got to try them.
All right,
But
now
yeah,
we've got a few super chats. I didn't want to interrupt you. OG Do Dirty uh, gave $2. Jennifer gave $5. Christina just gave $10, and now Cindy Lynn just gave $10 as well. So I'll put all of that into your um, Cash App account. And I appreciate everybody who's donating. You can donate directly to. I had to explain to Larry what Cash App was and how to get it, but he was able to get it. And anything would help. Ease his burden to get there, so he can get to Texas and take care of business. And
I hope you get out there.
as a whole, as a group, a community, I don't see why we couldn't help him with that.
Well, I'm hoping this documentary, they see it and it rattles their cage. You know what I mean? And maybe they'll think, hey, maybe we ought to just get this settled, because it's not going to go away. I'm not going to let it go away.
Yeah,
So,
no,
be,
yeah, I'm not either.
be,
Yeah.
so that's the best thing to do. But I'll let you know what's going on.
Okay, Larry.
All
And
right.
if there's any other news, I'll let you. We'll do the same thing like we just doing tonight. I'll put together a live, and you can talk to folks because they love hearing it from you, not from me. You know.
Well, I understand that, but yeah, if they got any questions, they're welcome to ask me. I'm not afraid to answer them. I've answered a lot of questions over the years.
Yeah, maybe we can
So
put together a live one day where it's just questions and answers, and stuff like that.
that'll be fine.
That'd be cool. Why don't
That'll
we
be
set
fine.
something up like that when you get back from Texas? I think that'd be a good time. People have a lot of questions by then.
All right, that'll be fine with me.
All right, Larry. It sounds good. I'll talk to you later, my friend. I'll probably text you tomorrow or the next day.
All right, I'll talk to you later, old buddy.
All right, man. We'll see you.
See ya.
All right, and everybody else out there, please do me a favor. Don't take any wooden nickels.
See ya.
My name is Ruckus. Thanks for hanging out. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm 10-7.